Wetrunner, by Weird Age Games, is a powered by Fate tabletop RPG about heist, specifically, fish heist. Welcome to the 2150. Climate change has screwed over the world as the rich has plundered its future for wealth. A total collapse was barely averted in spite of their best effort, and one of the victims of the current climate is fishes. Barely saved from total extinction, fish has now become a status symbol for the rich. They keep it, wear it, own it. Over at Pinnacle City, technology is being developed to fix the ocean, but the effort has stalled. You fucking know why. It's because if the sea was full of life again, the value of these rich fuck fishes would go down. That's where you come in. If they won't give up their fish, you will take them. And also everyone is just wearing swimsuit permanently, because of the weather. It's just BattleTech mech warrior logic. Don't think too much about it. So, how do you actually play Wetrunner? If you have experience with Breakfast Cult, a past Fate-powered ttrpg also by Weird Age Games, you basically got it. Basis of system, that is, the Fate condensed system, is this: you get a bunch of d6 but really, you are rolling for d3 instead for 3 results, minus, blank, and plus. Just replace these values for those symbols. When you actually roll for things like taking actions, you roll 4 dices, determine the value, and then add them all like this, and from here, you get 4 results: fail, tie, success, and success with style. Success and success with style practically explains themselves, but even if you fail or tie, it's not over yet, as you might still squeeze out a small victory at a cost. This gradations of results even on a failure allow the plot to progress forward even if the player dice luck is god awful. To really increase your chance to succeed, further modifier is required, like your character's approaches, essentially how they solve problem, split into what style they will do the problem in, and crime, which defines what their role are in the crew. Angler, who pulls target in and tricks people with disguise. Biter, who handles the violence part of a heist. Hook, who will be the one that actually steal the fish. Line, who plans out the whole heist and coordinates it. And Sinker, who gets into computer and subverts the system from within. These add simple addition to the role when it's relevant, and that's how you solve most roles. But what if you really want more? There's 2 more things you can do about it: aspects and stunts. Aspects are words or phrases that describe something special about a person, place, thing, situation, or group, while stunts are essentially cool tricks, techniques, or bits of equipment that make your character unique and interesting. To put it another way, approaches are stats, while aspects are your background and stunts are your techniques. And because of how free the Fate system is, there's a lot you can do with writing your own aspects and stunts. Maybe a bit too free, but let's start by explaining what the heck these two does. Whether you are playing as a former climate refugee thief, a hacker gamer with elite skill, Australian, and cyborg bodyguard that can sublet someone's ass to the Milky Way, as long as you can argue one of your aspects can be applied to the current situation, you can invoke it, and you have 5 for your characters. This can add +2 to your rolls, or reroll all 4 of your dices, or +2 to the difficulty of someone's else roll instead. But to invoke an aspect, you need to spend a fate point for it, essentially a narrative resource that can be used to bend your fate, and you get a set of fate points in every session according to your refresh stat. If you ran out of fate points and want more, or if the GM just wants to spice it up a little, aspects can be compelled to complicate your situation instead, whether that's your own character aspects screwing you over, or consequences you earned from failing a roll biting you again. This earns you a fate point. In fact, this is probably the primary mean for you to overcome extremely difficult challenge. By experiencing all the low, you can overcharge your dice when it really matters to punch-splode an impossible challenge to hell.
It should have been me!
But if you want to counter that compel, you have to spend a fate point instead. Needless to say, fate point management is gonna be an important skill for you to learn. There are other ways to potentially get an invoke though, like having an ally create an advantage for you, essentially changing the environment to provide a free invoke for you to utilize, or if you are unable to use any of your aspects to solve a problem in front of you, you might be able to use the hostile's own aspects against them. But take note, you give a fate point to the enemy this way that they might be able to use against you later on. And yes, the GM gets to play the game too with their own set of fate dice to overcome the players. Some unique NPC are practically player characters too, with many tricks up their sleeves. And speaking of tricks, let's talk stunts. Stunts are different from aspects in that one, rather than being narratively broad and apply to a lot of things, stunts are usually very narrow and also doesn't require fate point to use. Some can just be another +2, but you can also make rather interesting one that dramatically change out how you approach a situation. How do you link a stunt to your character's background? The most easy thing really is just deciding what style and crime your character will be focusing on and write a stunt that improves them further, or you can have your character be extra augmented with cyberware or bioware, or just be an android and write stunts related to that, like how your cyber hand gives you more hacking power, or you being a cat boomer lets you distract people better from how cute you are. You can also perfectly just have your character be augmented and just not write a stunt about that. Sometimes you want to be a shark in peace. There's many example stunts in the book for you to base on, and if you want a really powerful stunt, just slap a fate point cost on it. You start the game with 3 stunts. You don't actually need to define them yet. Maybe saving them up for when you really need something to save your butt right now could be a good idea, like giving a character a skill they totally have all these times. How do you get new stunt? You spend a refresh for 1, down to a minimum of 1, which could be a problem as you need fate points for many other things, and getting more refresh could take a rather long while, like very long, as progression is done through 2 things, milestones and breakthroughs. Milestone is per session and it's more about switching things around, like switching your approaches, rewriting your stunt, or even changing some of your aspects to represent character development. Breakthrough is per arc of a story. This actually advances your character in many ways, and only when you break through a major development that you get that +1 to your refresh, so in short, it's rare. Anyway, that's mostly what you need to know on the mechanic and character creation. So how do you heist, or dive as it's called here, over at Pinnacle City? The surface only looks as good as when you are intentionally looking away from the slum and refugee camp. Corporations, gangs, reclaimers, everyone wants fish, and they will get it through legally and extra legally ways. This is where your player comes in, whether they dive for fish sticks, causes, free exposure, or just cause. Just don't be fucking cop. The entire island is your oyster, literally in a sense, because you actually get a map that's filled with many interesting places, plus people and organizations to deal with, sometimes very punchable people and organizations. This will be very useful when you also write in your own base with its own aspects and stunts that can aid you before or during the dive, as you can physically put it on the map, which you can slowly improve as you invest your narrative earning on it. That might get the attention of the Fed if you get too hot, which could be a thing you also want because it's one way to add more aspect to it. So go loud occasionally, it might just be good for you. With this rich setting guide that takes up 1/4 of the book, the GM has more than enough places and NPC to write dives with. Sometimes you commit fish crime for noble reasons, sometimes you steal fish for stupid fucking reason but it paid so well. What fish you are heisting? It could be a very normal fish that's now just way rarer, goddamn anomalocaris, or something more exotic. One constant remains, you always steal fishes from the rich. Other than that, the GM section contains quite a few plot hooks and pre-written dives for the players to play and for you to learn from, with a lot of pre-made PC for a group that wants to do things fast. There's just a lot of things to teach you how to play Wetrunner. And that's basically it on Wetrunner, a game about heisting the sea life and looking great doing it. It's a funny game, a silly game about stealing stuff from asshole rich people, which is just another way of saying rich people really. I fully recommend it. Just keep it from being too real because a lot of people are sharpening the guillotine these days. Some of the places and faction descriptions are just hilarious in classic Eden fashion. Anyway, you can get it now on itch.io and drive-thru-RPG. That's all for now, and I will see you all next time. Hello there, if you like this video, please subscribe and click that notification bell button. If you want to see the videos early as well as further support my channel, you can join in my Patreon page, or buy me some coffee, links in the description. Anyway, have a nice day.